guys, before we get started, sorry about the huge noise in the video. Hopefully in my future videos I can get rid of those noise, and I think there was the same noise in the previous video, but you guys are gonna have to bear with these videos that I made this night, because it's pretty much gonna come with those noise. Alright, so in this video we're gonna work on the windshield wipers. We're gonna create those in this video, so it's gonna be a pretty basic step. Like right now you can see it's actually oriented on the screen in the reference image we have going on, but we're going to create it facing us. That is, we're going to create it facing us in the front view, and then we're going to orient everything once we're finished. So let's get over to front view, and let's go into wireframe. So you can see we have the blueprint of the windshield wipers. This won't really matter a lot. What actually matters is what we're going to create out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to, first of all, let's add in a mesh plane. I think let's add in a mesh plane, and let's click on the division side to go over to local view. Alright, so I'm going to move this here. I'm going to press Shift and S and choose cursor to world origin. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to add in a mesh. Let me zoom into this area here. You can see the image I have going on. So hopefully you can find that image and open it up yourself too. So let's press Shift and A and add in mesh circle. Alright, so I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to reduce this down to something like 8. Should be good. So I'm going to drop it down to 8, like that. Well, let me try 10 instead. Come on. This is pretty slow because I think I have a lot of vertices going on. Alright, so let's go with 10. I want to minimize that. I want to get rid of this one now. Now, I think the blueprint also got away. So let's go back to global view. And let's press Ctrl and I, and let's hide everything else instead. Now let's bring this up in the Z-axis. Let's go into edit mode. Let's scale it down. Press G. Let's move it all the way here and just scale it down some more. As you can see what we have going on. So I want to move it to about here. I'm going to rotate this in the X-axis by 90, like this. Let's go over to the top view. Let me just move this all the way to this point, like this. I want to move it to about here. So just follow what I'm doing right now, and hopefully you can get everything right. So I'm going to take all of these, and I want to press X and delete the vertices, so we only have this one left. So I want to take all of these ones now, and I want to press E, and then X, and extrude this all the way out. So I'm just going to use this as reference, and I want to extrude this all the way out to about, I think that is about this point right here. Yeah, so to about this point right here should be good. Now I want to scale it in the Y-axis, scale it down to about the size we have in the reference image, and I think that is about the size, as you can see. Maybe let's scale it up a little bit more, so S and then Y, and I think that is about the size. Let me just scale it up just a little bit more, so S and then Y. Let's scale it up just a little bit more. That might be too much. S and then Y, scale it in just a little bit more. Alright, so I just enabled that for you guys so you can see what buttons I'm pressing. And with that done, what I'm going to do next is let me see. Okay. Let's just take all of these, okay? And let's press F all the way to the other side, so we have that face filling in like that. Alright. Now all that we're going to do next is, alright, this is looking great. All that we're going to do next is, let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out so I don't make any mistakes. This is actually the side view. Okay, this is actually the side here, not the top. So if I go over to the front view, I think this side that was, so we're going to have to scale this side down a little bit more. So let's scale it down to about this point. So it should be pretty flat, I think. It should be pretty flat like that. And I want to move this up, okay, to about this point like this, until it's about the same flatness as this one. So let me take this and then that one, change the pivoting point to active element, press S and then Y, and type in 0. And I'm going to take this one and pull it up a little bit like that. Alright, so I don't know, I think this is the top view, so that is what we're looking at. Alright, that is good. So what we're going to do next is, let me see, I think I have it facing the wrong direction. Am I right? Let me see. Yeah, so let me take everything and let me just change the pivoting point. Let me take these two, press Shift and S and choose cursor to selected. I'm going to change the pivoting point to 3D cursor, take everything, press S and Y and type in -1, like that. Alright, so that should be good. That should be pretty good. Now all that I'm going to do next is, let me just pull this in the Y axis to about this point, so we have it matching with this area. Alright, so all I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to this side. I'm going to take these two, get over to the front view. I'm going to press E and Z and extrude this up to here. Oh, let's take everything instead. Let's extrude it in the Z axis, like this. I think the thickness is about up to there, so you can see right there. Alright, now I'm just going to take all of these now, and let's change the pivoting point to median point, like this. I want to press S and then Z, scale this in the Z axis to be the size that we have up there, and I think that is it. Alright, good. That is looking great. Now, let me see. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take all of the faces here. Let's go into edit mode. Take all of the faces we have over here up to this point. I think, is that where we want to end it? Yeah, press X and delete the faces, like that. So you can see that it's looking great. Let me take everything, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals, or maybe not. Now what we're going to do next is let's get over to the front view. I'm going to go into edit mode and vertex select mode. We are going to select both of these. Let me just, okay, we have to delete this face as well. Alright, now I'm going to take these two over here. Yeah, I'm going to press Shift and D. I want to move it in the Y axis to, I don't know, about here. I want to scale it in the Z axis to about somewhere, I don't know, here. Sorry about that. Let me see. Move it in the Y axis like that. And let's get onto the side, or the front view. And let me go over to the top view and see what we have going on. Okay. Let me see. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take everything here. Let me get over to the front view. We're gonna take everything here. Let me just take 1, 2, 3, 4, and press Shift and S, choose cursor to selected. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take everything. Let's change the pivoting point to 3D cursor. I want to rotate this. Hold on Control, and let's rotate this to about this angle here. Should be good. I want to move it in the Z axis to there, and there we go. Alright, so let's change the pivoting point back to median point. And what we're going to do next is we're going to take all of this, get over to the front view. I don't know if this is too much, but I think it's pretty good. Let me go over to the top view. Yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm just going to press E and then extrude this out to about somewhere here. Should be about the same angle as what we have here, like this. So I think the angle is pretty good. Alright, so what we're going to do next is press E and then X and extrude this all the way here. Press S and then X and type in 0. And I don't know how far it goes in this time, but pretty sure it goes in far enough. So let me just pull this to about this point right here, and it should be good. Let me get to the front view, take a look at this. Yeah, it goes in pretty far. I think that is the right point. Yeah. Let's get over to the front view now. I don't know if I should. Okay, let me take all of these. First of all, let me take 1, 2, 3, 4, press Shift and S and choose cursor to selected. Let's get onto the front view again. I'm going to take all of these, except for those ones, and change the pivoting point to 3D cursor. And let's rotate this again. Alright, so I'm just going to rotate it to somewhere here like this. Should be good. And what I'm going to do next is take this one, these two here, press G and then X, and I want to pull it to about there. And let me see. I press G and then X and pull it out some more. And just press S and then X, change the pivoting point to median point, S and then X, type in 0. Let's take these 4. Let's move it down to about this point like that. And that should be good, I think. Let me get over to the top view. Let's see what we have going on. Alright, not bad. bad at all. Okay, so another thing we're going to do now is to take everything. Let's pull it out to about this point. Again, we are going to take these four, press Shift and S and choose Get It to Selected. Get over to the top view, and let me see. We are going to rotate this. Let's change the floating point to 3D cursor. Rotate this like this, and rotate it until it falls onto it like that. Think about this point right here. Should be good. And now I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. With that, we're going to select. We're going to change the pivoting point to active element. I'm going to press S and then Y and type in 0 like that. So yeah, you can see that is looking good. Alright, not bad. Let me get over to the top view. Alright, that is not bad. That is not bad at all. So I'm going to change the pivoting point back to, let me see, back to median point. I'm going to take everything here. I'm going to press E and then Y. I'm going to extrude this back to this point right here, like this. Alright, I don't know if that is good enough, but hopefully you guys got that right as well. Let me just deselect this, deselect that, and I want to move this in, or let me just press G twice, pull it back here and press C, and I want to pull it out to about this point like this. That should be pretty good. I don't know. Let me get over here, get into wireframe. I'm going to take everything, that is these four over here. I'm going to press G twice, and then C. I want to pull this into this piece over here. Alright. So I think that is looking great. Sorry about the noise in the background, you can just ignore that and pay attention to me. Let's take everything, press Shift and N. Let's recalculate the normals, and I think everything is looking great. So one more thing we have to do now is to create the piece that is below it. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think I'm just going to get to this side and let me see how we gonna do this. I'm not so sure. First off, let me just take all these ones, alright? All these ones here. I don't know, I actually wanted to add in a solidify modifier to this, but let's wait until we finish everything. So what we're going to do next is to create the actual blade that sits on the windscreen. So let's go over to the top view and let's see how we can do this. Let's see, the blade is pretty short, so I think what we have in the blueprint is actually accurate. So let's just press Shift and A and let's add in a mesh plane. Let me go into edit mode. Oh, you know what, let's get rid of that plane. Let's take this one instead. Let's go into edit mode. And let's take these two vertices here. When I press Shift and D, duplicate it all the way to this point. When I press E and X, extrude this all the way here, like this. Pull this, oh, let's keep it straight like that. Alright, sorry about that. Let's keep it straight like that. And I'm just going to take all of these. And what am I going to do with this? Let's just press E. Well, let me pull this in the y-axis all the way to this point. I'm going to press E and then Y. I'm going to extrude this back to about here. That should be good. And let me get to the front view. I'm going to take everything now. I'm going to scale it in the z-axis until it's slightly beyond all of the others over here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R through the middle right here, like this. And what we're going to do now is we are going to take these face here, this face over here. I want to press E and then Y and extrude this all the way back until it sits right on top of the piece that we have underneath it over here. So pretty much keeping this windscreen basic, not too complex. Not too complex. Alright. Not too complex. So let's take all of these ones now. Let's press P and separate the selection. Take this. Let's add in a subdivision surface modifier at level 2. Please ignore the noise. That is actually my roommate. I don't know what he's watching, but let's just continue this. And so we're going to press Ctrl and R3 here. Add in a loop cut close to this point right here. Add in another one. Move it close to that point as well. Pull it pretty close like that. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Pull it close to this point. You're gonna have to bear with me on that sound, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Now let's add one in the middle here, like this. I don't know if this is the same thing. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Let's press Ctrl and R3 here. Get rid of this one in the middle, and with that selected, we're gonna click on Object and select Shade Smooth, like that. And let me see. This looks a little bit complicated, but it's actually pretty easy. So what I do now is we're gonna take this one and let's add in a. Now let's take all of this. Press P. Let's separate the selection. We're gonna select this one. Let's add in a Bevel Modifier. Alright, so Bevel Modifier right here, and let me see. Let me just press Ctrl and R3 here. Now let's pull it pretty close to the edge over here, like this. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. So Ctrl and R, pull that in very close to the edge over there, like that. That should add in a nice bevel in that area for us. Now I'm gonna take this one as well. I wanna add in a Solidify modifier. I think that might be too much. Let's press Ctrl and A and apply rotation and scale. And let's drop this down to something like, let me try 0.001. That is too low. So 0.005. That's too much. So 0.003. Okay. 0.003 actually looks great, but I'm gonna go with something like 0.004. I think that is good enough. Alright, not bad. Okay, so you can see this is looking great. All that we have to do now is to, first of all, let me take all of this. Let me click on Object and select Shade Smooth. And I want to go over into the Object Data tab. And on the normals, I'm going to enable Auto Smooth. And I'm going to increase that to something like 60. I think 60 is good. Yeah, 60 is great. Alright, so just increase it up to something like 60. And let's finish this off now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over here. Let's press Ctrl and R3 here. Let's add a loop cut to this point. And let's add one also to this point right here. Let me just press G twice, pull this out to about here. And what I'm going to do is take these two. Let's go to Vertex Select Mode, press Shift and D to duplicate it, and press P to separate the selection. Now I'm going to take that one, go into Edit Mode, and let me see. Let me just take these two vertices in the middle here. We're going to press X and delete those vertices. So we have only this one left. Now all that I'm going to do now, go into wireframe, take this, dissolve the edges. Now I'm going to take this and dissolve the edges, like that. Now I'm going to take all of these here, pull it in the y-axis. Now let's dissolve these edges as well. So I'm going to take both of these. I'm going to move it in the y-axis all the way to this point, like that. I think should be good. Now I'm going to take these two, press F. Take these two and press F. Alright, so I'm going to press Ctrl and R3 here, press E, and then F. Let's bring it very close to this point. Let's see if we can do the same thing here, but let's change the edge, the selection mode to vertex, to edge. And let's press Ctrl and R, scroll up till we have about 80 number of cuts, and let's deselect this and deselect that. Do the same thing here, deselect the two, press X and dissolve the rest of the edges. Alright, so you can see how that is looking. Very nice. Now, how are we gonna fix this area right here? I think all we can do is to take this, move it here, scale it in the Z-axis until it falls in like that. And I think that should look great. Alright, not bad. That is a pretty basic windshield wiper, as you can see. Alright, so one more thing before we actually call this finished. We're going to press Ctrl and R3 here. Add in a loop cut close to this edge over here. I'm pretty much going to add the same thing to that end over there, like that. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take all of these edges over here. That is, let me see, let me hide all of these. Select all of that. Well, let me hide all of these as well. Now let's select all of this and all of that. I'm going to press Ctrl and H to bring everything back. Now let's press Ctrl and plus until we have all of those ones selected. I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate it, and then P to separate the selection. Now I'm going to take that one, let's go into edit mode, and let's just press E, and then right click, and I'm going to press Alt and S to shrink it out, like that. I don't know if that helped in any way, but I think it gave us what we're looking to get. As you can see, some lip around the, as in if you take a look at the reference image, you can see we have something at the end here. That was what I was trying to create, and that worked very nicely. So let me take a look at it. Alright, good. So hopefully we have the same result on the other side. As you can see, that's what we have going on. Alright. Okay. So let's see. This is going to edit mode. Let me get in here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R over here. Add one in the middle here. And let's press Ctrl and plus and hide everything else. And I'm going to take all of the ones on the inside. I'm going to delete it. Delete the vertices. Press Alt and H to bring everything back. I'm going to take all of these now. I'm going to press E and X. Extrude it to the inside a little bit like that. E and X and extrude it all the way inside like that. So let me just get over here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R. Bring it close to this area. And there we go. So that finishes that area off. Now let's work on this one as well. So I'm going to zoom into this area. Press Ctrl and R. Add one in the middle there. Ctrl and plus. Hide everything else. Take the one in the middle. Delete the vertices. Press Alt and H. Sorry. Press Alt and H to bring everything back. Take this. Press E and X. Extrude it in just a little bit. And extrude it in all the way. And now we're going to press Ctrl and R through here. Bring it close to the end here. And done. That should finish that area off as well. This is our windshield wiper. Now the only thing we have left is the pivoting point over here. That is the area that sits at this point we have going on here. So we're going to do that right now. So let me just get into front view. Let's try to finish this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two here. Let me just get over here, take these two, and take these two as well. Press Shift and S and choose Cancel to select it. That should be the center of that object over there. So what we're going to do is, oh my god, sorry, what we're going to do is we're going to press Shift and A and add in a mesh circle, and hopefully that gives us 10 vertices, just the way we want it. I want to go into edit mode and I want to scale this down, and let me see, I just press G. Well, let me change the pivoting point to normal, the orientation to normal. That didn't help. Let me just press F. Let me see. Still didn't help. Okay. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but let's see. Let me just press G. I'm just gonna move this manually by myself, and I'm gonna move it down to that point right here. As you can see on the blueprint line, like that. That should be great. Now, what I'm gonna do next is press X and delete the faces. No, only faces, like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is, let me press R to rotate everything. Let me hold Control and Shift, rotate it to about this point. Take these 4, delete the vertices. I'm going to take these 2, press E. I'm going to extrude this to about there, I think. And then let's scale it down to about this point right here. I think should be right. Let's take everything and move it out to there. Let's go over to the top view and let me get into wireframe. Let's change the orientation back to global and let's rotate this to about this point right here. Let's move it in the y-axis. Let's pull it out to there. I think that should be good. Alright, so that's coming out pretty nicely. I'm just getting to wireframe. Take all of these, press G twice, and then C. Let's pull this in to this point. Move it in the Z-axis, and then let's just scale it out just a little bit like that. Alright, so that is looking good. Now, all that I'm going to do now is to take everything, and I'm going to press, let me first of all take this, press F, and fill it all the way there. Let's take everything, press E, and I'm going to extrude this in the Y-axis. Is it Y? Yeah. In the Y-axis. No, not the y-axis. So just press E. It should extrude it in the normal axis for you, like this. So extrude it out to about this point. I think it should be good. Yeah. I don't know, I think it's about the thickness, so we should bring it back some more to there. I think that is about right. Let me get over to top view. Yeah, so let's just press E. Let's extrude it to that point like that. Alright, nice. Okay, so one more thing we're going to do now is to, let me see. Let me take these two, press shift and S and choose Scatter selected. I want to go over to the front view. I'm going to add in another mesh circle that is having 10 vertices. We're going to scale that down very closely to this point right here. Let's go over to the top view, go into wireframe. We're going to rotate this until it falls in the same angle as what we have over there, like that. So what I'm going to do now is, let me get into front view. I'm going to rotate this, hold control and shift. I'm going to rotate it to about there, like that. Now let's scale it down a little bit more, like that. And there we go. Okay, hold up. I think we have snapping element set to face. Let's change that back to increment. Now let's get over to the front view again. Let's rotate this again, hold control and shift till we have it like that. And I'm going to scale it down some more to about this point, move it in the z-axis to there. Alright, nice. So let me just get over to the top view again. Let me see. Alright, so I'm going to press F and let me change the orientation to normal. I'm going to press S and Z and type in 0. Or is it S and Z and type in 0? I don't know why it's not scaling flat. It should be scaling flat, but well, no worries. What we're going to do next is, let me just press Ctrl and R3 here. Let me add in 1. So about here, Ctrl and R, add in 1 in the middle here. So I'm going to take all of these, select it, I'm going to move it in that axis, like that. And let me see. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Let me just extrude this back to about this point. Now let's see what we need. Let's take all these faces here and let's delete the faces. So I'm going to take the vertices over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to press F, take these two, press F. Why isn't it filling? Should be filling. Now let's take these 4 as well, press F. Take these two, still not filling. I don't know why. Alright. F. Let's change the orientation back to global. Alright, so F. And let's just put 2 in the middle here. I don't know if that is a good idea here. Let's delete the face here first. So let's take these 4 vertices. Let's press X and delete the faces. I want to press Ctrl and R3 here, and I want to put 2 in the middle here. And let's take these 4 and press F. And let's take these 2, press F. Let's select everything, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. Now let's take these 2. Okay, these 4. I don't know why it's not helping, but let's just take those 4 and press F. Take these 4, and then let's press F. And I don't know, maybe take these 2. Let me get over to the view, and let me press G twice, pull this out to that point. Let me see. I want to do the same with this. I'm going to pull it out by pressing G twice, also to that point. As you can see, that is looking great. I'm just going to take these two, pull it in the Z-axis, like that, close to that area. I want to do the same thing with the one down here, pull it in the Z-axis, so it's in line with that one as well. And I want to take these two now. I want to pull it in the Z-axis as well, to that point, and I want to do the same thing here, pull it in the Z-axis, to that point. Alright, nice. So how are we going to fill this area now? Let me see. Let me just add in a subdivision to this, and let's see what we have going on. So subdivision at level 2. I'm just going to take this one, delete the faces. Let's take a look here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R, press E, align it with this side. Take all of these over here. I'm going to press I to set the faces. Let's enable boundary. Disable boundary, so it goes all the way through to the other side. As you can see, that is looking great. And Now this area right here, how are we gonna fix this? I'm not so sure. Let's press Ctrl and R through here and through there. Let's see how this looks. So I'm gonna take these two, all these four, and press F. And I'm gonna take that two and press F. I'm gonna take these four, press F, and take these two and press F. Alright. So I'm just gonna press Ctrl and R through here. I don't know if this is gonna help, but first of all, let's click on Object and select Shade Smooths. And let's select everything, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. I think we have some double vertices here. Oh, there's a face. Okay, so let's select that face and delete the face. Nice. So that is looking good. Alright. Okay, let me see. Let me go to vertex select mode. I want to take all of these vertices. Let's go over to the top view. Let me see. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Get into wireframe. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we're gonna take each of these. So I'm gonna take this one and that one. Press Alt and M and choose at last. I'm gonna do the same thing with this. So Shift and R to repeat the command. I'm gonna merge all of those ones to the one over here. I want to pull that whole thing back, and then we'll see how that looks. Alright, so just do as I'm doing right now, and as you can see, this is what we have. So I want to take all of these now. Let's go over to the top view, and let's just press G twice, and then C, and then let's pull this back to about here, like this. Alright, so that should be looking good. Let's re-enable the subdivision surface, and you can see what we have going on. I'm just going to press Ctrl and R through here, press E, and then F, pull it close to this area. I want to do the same thing here, E, and then F, pull it close to that area, and there we go. So nothing too complicated, in fact pretty easy. It shouldn't be too complicated for you guys as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this one, press Shift and S and choose Cursor to selected, and so with that done, let's take these two instead. Press Shift and S and choose Cursor to selected, and I'm going to press space and type in set origin. I want to set the origin to 3D cursor for that object, that is for this object. Set origin to 3D cursor, like that. Alright, very nice. Now I want to take this one as well. I want to get over to the front view, and I want to press Shift and A and add in a mesh circle. Also should have 10 vertices. So let me just minimize that. Let me go into edit mode. We're going to scale this down to about this point. Just press G, move it over here. I'm going to scale it down some more. I'm going to press F. I'm going to extrude it in the y-axis like that. Take everything, rotate it in the x-axis by 90. Get into the front view. Let's press G. Move this all the way here. Get into wireframe. I'm going to rotate this until it's diagonal like this. I'm going to press G and move that all the way to about this point. I'm going to take all of these, press G twice, and let's move that down to that point, like that. So I want to move it some more, pretty close to the bottom. Press Ctrl and I, do the same thing. Select everything, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. Click on Object and select Shade Smooths. And then let's enable Auto Smooth on this. Change the angle to something higher, like 60, and there we go. So all I'm going to do is to take this now, and I'm going to move it in the y-axis to about the center, like that. Alright, nice. So let's take this, let me see. Let's take this and then that. Let's press Ctrl and J to join them. Let me take a look at this as well. So I'm going to take this and then that, Ctrl and J to join it. Now let's take a look at this. Let me click on Object and select Shade Smooths. Alright, not bad. Not bad. Let me see. Okay, yeah, we'll keep it that way. It's not bad at all. Now I'm going to take this one. I don't know. maybe we could just keep it that way. Alright, so we'll just keep it that way. Just press Shift and N, make sure the normals are looking great. Let's select everything and press Shift and N just to make sure the normals are in the right direction. Alright. So all that we have to do now is to bring everything back and then try to, orient this to match the other stuff we have going on the windscreen. So we're going to take this, we're going to take that, take this, and then finally, oh no, we'll take this one next, and then finally that one. I'm going to press Ctrl P and select, and we're going to parent it to the object and keep transformation, like that. So if we move this one, you can see everything moves along with it, like that. Alright, so let's bring it back to the original position, like that. And what we're going to do next is, let me press Alt and H to bring everything back. Now this is what we have going on. Let's get onto the side view. I'm going to move this in the Z axis, and I'm going to rotate it in the X axis, like this. I don't know if that is the right angle. No. Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, let's just get onto the side. And let's rotate this in the X axis, like that. I'm going to move it in the Z axis now. Let me get into wireframe, move it in the Y axis. And that is looking great. Now I'm going to rotate it in the Z axis as well, like that. As you can see, that is looking great. Let me get into the front view. I'm going to rotate this a little bit up to about this point. I think it should be good, or not, I'm not sure. Let me take a look. Alright, not bad, not bad. So what we're going to do next is we are going to take 1, 2, 3, and finally that one. We're going to edit mode. Let's take all of these over here. I want to change the orientation to normal. Let's see if that helps. I don't know if it helps at all, but let's take this face instead. Alright, so this face right here, let's select everything, make sure that face is the active element. Let's change the pivoting point to active element, and maybe that would help. So let's press Ctrl and Z, and then let's rotate this. I don't know. Alright, let's see. Let me get over to the top view, or front view. Let's get over to the top view. I'm going to rotate this in the Z axis. Let me get into wireframe, rotate it some more. Now let's take a look at this. Alright. So I think we have to pull these ones out a little bit. I don't know. Let me get to the side view. Maybe not too much, but let me undo that rotation. And maybe we should rotate these ones instead. So let me go over to vertex select mode. We're going to deselect this one, and then deselect that one as well. And let's go into wireframe. We're going to deselect this one as well. Let's go over to the top view. Let me see. Let's change this back to boundary box, and let's rotate this like this to about this point, and I want to move it in the Y axis. Okay, like that. Don't know if that is working as much. Let me get over to the front view. Alright, I'm going to rotate this as well in this axis like this, and let's see. Alright, so I want to move it in the Z axis down to about this point. Alright, now I want to move it in the Y axis a little bit more back, like that. And let me see, it's coming up pretty nicely, but we're going to have to move things around a little bit more. We're going to have to move things around a little bit more, like this one. Let's see. First off, let's try fixing this onto the surface here. So let me just move over here, and let me move this in the Y axis until it sits right on the surface, like that. Let me rotate it on the Z axis. Alright, to that point. I want to move it in the Y axis like that. I think it should be good. We can have it sitting right there, or we can just move it up a little bit like that, just a little bit above the frame. Let's pull it in the Y axis. Make sure it sits right on top of it like that. Alright, so with that, then what we're going to do now is to take everything else, that is including this one and then that one. I want to go into edit mode. I'm going to press Ctrl and I now, and we're pretty much going to do the same thing. Let me just get into front view. I'm going to press R, and then let me make sure, let me see. Okay, so let's take this face over here, make it the active element. Let's change the pivoting point back to active element. Let me go over to the front view. I'm going to press R and then Z, and I want to rotate this out to about there. I think should be good. Alright, now let's rotate it as well in the Y. I want to see how that looks. I don't know if that is a good idea, but we're just trying things out now just to see how they look. Alright, so not too good, not too good. Let's try rotating it into the Z axis. Sorry, the actual, let's change the orientation back to global, and let's rotate it in the Z axis. Let's see how that looks. Alright, so not bad. That actually looks great. Okay. I think that would actually do it. As you can see, it's looking great. Just make sure this area here actually intersects enough. So let's take all of these vertices. Let's press G twice and then C, pull it in some more, just so it intersects very much more than what we had before. That is looking great, not bad. Alright, so there's one more thing I actually want to do. Let me go over here. I'm going to press Ctrl and R, move it pretty close to this area, and I'm going to press Shift and D to duplicate it. I'm going to press Ctrl and I, hide everything else, take everything. Let's get over to the front view. And let me change the the snapping element back to face. Come on, face. I'm going to press G, hold Control, and press Enter. And let's press Alt and H to bring everything back. Let me see. Let me hide everything over here. Let's take all of this. Let's dissolve these vertices over here. No, I meant dissolve vertices. Let's take this, press E and then S. Sorry, change the median point, the pivoting point to median point, and let's scale this out like this to about this point. I want to add in about 2 loop cuts in the middle here. Change the orientation back to normal, and I'm going to pull it out just a little bit like that. I want to take everything, pull it out some more. I want to take the ones on the edges now, that is these ones. I want to press E and then, what do you call it? No, hold on. Let me see. Let me move it in this axis right here. So just press E and move it in that axis like that. And as you can see, that should create a ring around this area over here very nicely. It's just not fitting in as well. So let's press Alt and H to bring everything back. Let's see how we can fit this around it. Just move it in the X, move it in the Y, in the X, some more. I don't know, it's not fitting too well. So let's press Alt and S to shrink this up some more. Move it in the X, in the Y, and pretty sure this should actually look good on it. I'm not so sure though. Let's take all of these ones, move it out like that. Take all of these, move it out to this point, and then in the X-axis. Let me take a look at this side. So I'm basically just tweaking this to actually look like it's wrapping around it. There's a much neater way to do this, but I'm just going to keep it like this. Now let's take this, let's click on Object, and select Shade Smooth. And there we go. Just to create some kind of rubber band going around it, and as you can see, that is looking great. Alright, really nice. Now all that we're going to do now is to take all of these. That is all of the objects we have forming the windshield, and you know what we're going to do now is to duplicate it. I want to take all of them. Let me see. Let me just press G, make sure I have everything. I want to press Shift and D and move it in the X-axis. Hold on. Let's change the orientation back to global. And let's move it in the X-axis. Let's get to the front view, see where the second one is. Let's just press G and then X, move it back to place, like that. And there we go. Okay. Now all that I'm going to do now is to press G and then Y, I think. I'm going to pull this out to about there. Yep. And now I think we are going to take this one, that one, this one, and then that one. We're going to go into edit mode. I'm going to make sure the face here is the active element. And when you change the pivoting point to active element, I'm going to rotate this. Let me change the orientation to normal. I'm going to rotate this in the z-axis until it falls on top of the surface of the windshield, like that. Hopefully there's no space going on. There is a space going on over here. So let me just press R and then Z. Let's just pull it out some more, just so it sits right on top of it, like that. Now there's a much better way to actually have this sitting on top of the windshield very well. That is using a Lattice Deform. And hopefully you get the idea. But if you want to do that, you can actually use a Lattice Deform to do it. But I really don't want to waste too much time on this. I could show you guys actually I could show you guys how we can do this to make it, sit right on top of the windshield, but that is going to take some time, so I'm just going to do this pretty basic for you. But if you want to, have it sit on top of the windshield very flat, you're going to have to use a Lattice Deform and maybe a shrink wrap modifier to actually achieve that. But that is all up to you. So yeah, this is how far I can actually bring you guys. Maybe I might actually do that off camera, but I don't know, maybe I might. Alright, so hopefully you guys are able to achieve that. This is the the windshield wiper, and as you can see, it's a pretty simple one, not too complicated. Let's just select everything now. We're going to recalculate the normals one more time just to make sure we have everything. There we go. So let's go into edit mode, select everything, press Shift and N, recalculate the normals, and there we go. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the windshield wipers. Hopefully you were able to achieve that and having them looking as great as mine is looking right now. And yeah, that'll pretty much do it for this video. As you can see, it's almost 50 minutes. This one took actually a lot of time, but it was worth it. And sorry about the noise in the recording and all that, but hopefully next time I'm able to get a much cleaner record. And yeah, pretty much leave you guys here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me just save this real quick.